the high cost of inaction, climate change, and economic loss. Climate change is no longer a distant threat. It is a present reality with a hefty price tag. The economic consequences of climate change are already being felt worldwide. Ignoring this crisis will lead to devastating economic losses. Projections estimate a staggering $38 trillion annual cost by 2049 if we fail to address climate change effectively. The Doughnut Economics Framework, a balancing act for humanity and planet. This innovative model seeks to create a sustainable future by balancing human needs with the planet's ecological limits. To understand the interconnectedness of the climate crisis and the economy, we can turn to Doughnut economics. It offers a holistic approach that integrates social and environmental dimensions. This model, developed by economist Kate Raworth, presents a compelling framework. It challenges traditional economic models that prioritize growth over sustainability. It emphasizes the need to meet human needs within the planet's ecological boundaries. This means ensuring that everyone has access to basic necessities without depleting natural resources. The inner ring of the donut represents the social foundation. This foundation is crucial for a healthy society. This includes essential elements like food, water, healthcare, and education. These are the building blocks of a thriving community. The outer ring represents the ecological ceiling, encompassing climate change, biodiversity loss, and other planetary boundaries. Staying within these limits is vital for the planet's health. Our goal is to ensure everyone thrives within the donut's safe and just space. This space is where human well-being and ecological sustainability coexist. Climate change, however, threatens to push us beyond these boundaries, jeopardizing both ecological stability and human well-being. It is a call to action for all of us to rethink our economic and environmental priorities. Sectoral impacts of climate change. From fields to factories. Climate change does not discriminate in its economic impacts. It affects every sector, from agriculture to manufacturing to retail. Rising temperatures and extreme weather events disrupt supply chains, reduce crop yields, and damage infrastructure. These disruptions lead to job losses, price hikes, and economic instability. For instance, agriculture, a sector heavily reliant on stable climate conditions, faces significant challenges. Droughts, floods, and unpredictable weather patterns directly impact crop yields and livestock productivity. This leads to food shortages, price volatility, and economic hardship for farmers and consumers alike. Unequal impacts, unequal futures. Climate change and global inequality. The economic consequences of climate change are not evenly distributed. Wealthier nations have more resources to adapt and mitigate the effects, while poorer countries struggle to cope. Vulnerable communities and developing nations, who have contributed the least to the climate crisis, often bear the brunt of its impacts. These areas lack the infrastructure and financial means to recover quickly. This injustice exacerbates existing inequalities and pushes millions further into poverty. The gap between the rich and the poor widens as the most vulnerable suffer the most. Consider the small island nations facing existential threats from rising sea levels. These nations are at risk of losing their homes and livelihoods entirely. Their economies, often heavily reliant on tourism and fishing, are highly vulnerable to climate-related disasters. When these industries suffer, the entire nation feels the impact. Similarly, regions heavily reliant on agriculture, such as sub-Saharan Africa, face increased food insecurity and economic hardship due to changing rainfall patterns and extreme weather events. The livelihoods of millions are at stake, and the future of these communities hangs in the balance. Investing in climate resilience and economic justice. The economic case for climate action is clear. The costs of inaction are mounting, with extreme weather events and natural disasters becoming more frequent and severe. Investing in climate resilience and a just transition to a low-carbon economy is not just an environmental necessity. It is a strategic move to safeguard our future. It is an economic imperative that can no longer be ignored. By investing in renewable energy, sustainable infrastructure, and climate-resilient agriculture, we can drive economic growth. We can create new jobs, stimulate innovation, and foster technological advancements that benefit all sectors of society and build a more equitable and sustainable future. This future is one where communities are resilient and economies are robust. Moreover, we must address the unequal burden of climate change. Vulnerable populations are often the hardest hit. Supporting developing nations in their climate adaptation and mitigation efforts is crucial for global solidarity and economic justice. This support can help bridge the gap between rich and poor nations. The time for complacency is over. We must recognize the urgency of the situation. The economic alarm bells are ringing. The longer we wait, the higher the costs will be. We must act now to build a future where both people and the planet can thrive. Together, we can create a world that is sustainable, just, and prosperous for all.